I'm so upset I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
What exactly is plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. 100% pure protein-packed power in a stick. I want Wenzel's Farm. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. What exactly is a meat substitute or plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. The kind you find at Wenzel's Farm and the only kind they use. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked right here in the heartland of America. Wenzel's Farm offers 14 flavors of mouth-watering protein-packed power in a stick, except no substitute. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. Looking for something to power your day? Then look no further than Wenzel's Farm Snack Sticks. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked, these protein-packed power sticks deliver truly sustainable energy. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. You work hard and play hard. You need real fuel to power your day. Not some tofu stuffed rice cake or plant-based meat substitute. No, you need honest-to-goodness, homegrown, protein-packed power in a stick. You need Wenzel's Farm. Quality cuts of meat handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked for a great-tasting snack that delivers real energy. Power up and put the smack down on whatever your day brings with Wenzel's Farm. Real meat for real life.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh! Ah, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh.
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just... What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there.
No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
I think it's on the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, Get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, it's no worries. I got it.
What exactly is plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. 100% pure protein-packed power in a stick. I want Wenzel's Farm. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. What exactly is a meat substitute or plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. The kind you find at Wenzel's Farm and the only kind they use. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked right here in the heartland of America. Wenzel's Farm offers 14 flavors of mouth-watering protein-packed power in a stick, except no substitute. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. Looking for something to power your day? Then look no further than Wenzel's Farm Snack Sticks. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked, these protein-packed power sticks deliver truly sustainable energy. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. You work hard and play hard. You need real fuel to power your day. Not some tofu stuffed rice cake or plant-based meat substitute. No, you need honest-to-goodness, homegrown, protein-packed power in a stick. You need Wenzel's Farm. Quality cuts of meat handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked for a great-tasting snack that delivers real energy. Power up and put the smack down on whatever your day brings with Wenzel's Farm. Real meat for real life.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to us. Just leave it.
Hell with that.
Oh! Ah, yeah, there's something in there.
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just... A little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No, come on, just reach. Just grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh!
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. His daddy ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
Just won't let go.
What do you mean you won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there.
No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you covered. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
From the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky.
Get the stick.
Yeah. Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
What exactly is plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. 100% pure protein-packed power in a stick. I want Wenzel's Farm. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. What exactly is a meat substitute or plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. The kind you find at Wenzel's Farm and the only kind they use. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked right here in the heartland of America. Wenzel's Farm offers 14 flavors of mouth-watering protein-packed power in a stick, except no substitute. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. Looking for something to power your day? Then look no further than Wenzel's Farm Snack Sticks. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked, these protein-packed power sticks deliver truly sustainable energy. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. You work hard and play hard. You need real fuel to power your day. Not some tofu stuffed rice cake or plant-based meat substitute. No, you need honest-to-goodness, homegrown, protein-packed power in a stick. You need Wenzel's Farm. Quality cuts of meat handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked for a great-tasting snack that delivers real energy. Power up and put the smack down on whatever your day brings with Wenzel's Farm. Real meat for real life.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in there.
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh!
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. His daddy ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just can't. What do you mean you can't?
Won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there.
No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him. Hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing. On the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky.
Hey, get the stick. Yeah.
Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
What exactly is plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. 100% pure protein-packed power in a stick. I want Wenzel's Farm. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. What exactly is a meat substitute or plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. The kind you find at Wenzel's Farm and the only kind they use. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked right here in the heartland of America. Wenzel's Farm offers 14 flavors of mouth-watering protein-packed power in a stick, except no substitute. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. Looking for something to power your day? Then look no further than Wenzel's Farm Snack Sticks. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked, these protein-packed power sticks deliver truly sustainable energy. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. You work hard and play hard. You need real fuel to power your day. Not some tofu stuffed rice cake or plant-based meat substitute. No, you need honest-to-goodness, homegrown, protein-packed power in a stick. You need Wenzel's Farm. Quality cuts of meat handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked for a great-tasting snack that delivers real energy. Power up and put the smack down on whatever your day brings with Wenzel's Farm. Real meat for real life.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just... A little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it.
Careful!
Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh!
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. His daddy ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there.
No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
On the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it. Help!
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky.
Get the stick.
Yeah. Hey, did you get the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
What exactly is plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. 100% pure protein-packed power in a stick. I want Wenzel's Farm. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. What exactly is a meat substitute or plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. The kind you find at Wenzel's Farm and the only kind they use. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked right here in the heartland of America. Wenzel's Farm offers 14 flavors of mouth-watering protein-packed power in a stick, except no substitute. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. Looking for something to power your day? Then look no further than Wenzel's Farm Snack Sticks. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked, these protein-packed power sticks deliver truly sustainable energy. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. You work hard and play hard. You need real fuel to power your day. Not some tofu stuffed rice cake or plant-based meat substitute. No, you need honest-to-goodness, homegrown, protein-packed power in a stick. You need Wenzel's Farm. Quality cuts of meat handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked for a great-tasting snack that delivers real energy. Power up and put the smack down on whatever your day brings with Wenzel's Farm. Real meat for real life.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just... A little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it.
Careful!
Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach.
Just
Grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh.
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just... What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there.
No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you covered. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
On the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it. Help!
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky.
Hey, get the stick. Yeah.
Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
What exactly is plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. 100% pure protein-packed power in a stick. I want Wenzel's Farm. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. What exactly is a meat substitute or plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. The kind you find at Wenzel's Farm and the only kind they use. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked right here in the heartland of America. Wenzel's Farm offers 14 flavors of mouth-watering protein-packed power in a stick, except no substitute. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. Looking for something to power your day? Then look no further than Wenzel's Farm Snack Sticks. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked, these protein-packed power sticks deliver truly sustainable energy. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. You work hard and play hard. You need real fuel to power your day. Not some tofu stuffed rice cake or plant-based meat substitute. No, you need honest-to-goodness, homegrown, protein-packed power in a stick. You need Wenzel's Farm. Quality cuts of meat handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked for a great-tasting snack that delivers real energy. Power up and put the smack down on whatever your day brings with Wenzel's Farm. Real meat for real life.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
Hello, and welcome back to another week of NECC Rainbow Six. I'm Ethan Irish Dude, or just Irish, and joined with me is Goose.
Yeah, we've got a great game ahead of us, a great best of three. We have Ambrose versus NC State Red. I'll be calling them NC State because their other team isn't here today. But again, I think, especially going into week 5, you're going to really start to see teams really settle in to their rosters, understand how they play. And this is kind of the point of the semester where you really start to see teams at their full potential.
Unfortunately for the teams kind of settling in, this is a brand new patch and potentially a new meta if Rora shakes things up. I don't think she will, but there was an announcement in the Discord a little bit earlier that she will be playable for this matchup. Now, going to the rosters, I don't know who on this team will really pick her. Again, I don't really see her being all that strong, but we might see some cool stuff, some cool pocket strats out of potentially one of these teams.
Yeah, this is a fun game for me because I am a North Carolina resident. So, not like I'm going to be biased, but it is nice to actually see and cast a game from my own region. But yeah, I agree with your point. I think, especially if we're comparing it to recent operators like Blackbeard's more recent change, it's not a sense where Blackbeard can stand alone. The newest op, you really need to have additional support behind her. You need to have an entire game plan going into the execute and using her. It's not kind of a situation where you can just bring her and she can have immediate success anywhere she wants. She is not that adaptability. But on the other hand, if you do have teams that are able to consistently work it into their plays, and it can be a little bit dangerous.
And now going on to the maps, we'll see the battlegrounds that both of these teams are going to be playing on. The first few bands, Consulate, Labs, Lair, Skyscraper. That is just to be expected because Labs and Lair, the most recent 2, Consulate, the most recent rework, and we're going to Chalet, Clubhouse, and Cafe. Some of the most standard maps in the pool, and the last 2 bands, Bank and Border, would not have been very far out of the normal stretch either.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think Border and Cafe to be the last 2 maps it makes sense to me because they are maps that obviously they play very differently, but they are maps that are relatively small and kind of play as a box on an island, kind of a sort, which makes it a little bit difficult. Now going into Cafe, if we do so need it, I think every single map really requires teams to bring something different. It's not like we're going from Clubhouse and then into a Labs. We're going from Chalet straight to Clubhouse and then Cafe. Every single map you're going to need to see both teams be as adaptable as they can.
We'll see the adaptability of both of these teams right now because we're just getting straight into it. St. Ambrose versus NCSU Red. Starting off with those bans, you talked about Blackbeard a little bit, and something that either that or the Monty, I'm very much expect to see, because either pushing mezzanine or pushing wine side on the basement is something that is just so strong with those shields. So if they make it through the ban phase, I would be very surprised. And he
Just will
doesn't.
in existence. Yeah, I think whether or not we see Blackbeard, if it's this map or maybe if he's let up on Chalet, which I think if there's any map that he's going to be banned, it would be going over to Cafe. But again, Chalet makes sense. Blackbeard is an operator that we talked about that really stands alone. He's an operator that can just take space and kind of do everything on his own. You don't need a drone because he is a semi drone. Monty and Blitz will still be on the board. Ying a little bit more sense. A map like Chalet that does require attacking teams to really force themselves to win by execute. Just getting a little bit of that execution utility off the board. It kind of just goes into the map itself.
Yeah, that's like shades of 2022 and 2023. Ying ban is something that we very rarely see nowadays, especially after that huge shield buff a really long time ago. They kind of just took over the meta, became the standard bans, and especially now that Blackbeard's out, he's just kind of that insta ban or insta play. Ying ban is something that's kind of interesting, as well as the Valkyrie. That, yeah, she's strong, but God, I just feel like there's so many other incredibly strong operators that seeing the Ying and the Valkyrie ban is just a little interesting to me. Maybe it's something that NCSU just really hate having to look for those cams, and St. Ambrose just really hate all those flashes directly in their faces, although they are the ones that are going to start on attack.
Yeah, and the current meta, I don't even really think there is a certain meta. Like obviously we've spoken about 2022. Obviously you had the 1.5 times meta, LMG meta, and then going into previous couple of months the shield meta. But with a recent
Now, this does happen from time to time when casting with Goose. Occasionally he disconnects, and occasionally we just lose out on hearing his voice, which is a little unfortunate. We were talking about the shields, and we were talking about them making it through the ban phase. Brappo, very, very adept on those shields, swapping out one for the other, but we're still going to see the Monty onto this top floor take, something that I said that I expected, something that could potentially be very strong, but they're going to have to bust through a lot of utility here. Castle barriers with the mute jammers, and on top of that, that's all just based around holding the top floor, and that's all just a time delay for the actual site, which is on bar for NCSU Red. Starting off again. They're placing down these mute jammers in the best locations to try to stop the info game for St. Ambrose. At St. Ambrose, they don't really need all that many drones. They can just set up Brappo from Trophy. They're getting him in very quickly, a drone to kind of get that beachhead for him to start walking in. They can just take space directly off of him. NCSU Red, again, we're going for that full top floor hold. But if St. Ambrose just kind of go for a horizontal clear, they could walk in from 45 and take from kitchen. They're already getting a lot of info in 40 seconds into the round. Complete trophy control, complete opposite side. But now it looks like they're pressuring towards top floor. They're not going for horizontal. They're trying to take as much of the map as possible. And on a map like this, that honestly might be, well, great. So it looks like they're going for more of a horizontal take. They're taking in from Trophy while also pressuring off a top floor hold. They have a Monty worked its way in, and at a minute left, they're already pressuring the extension of NCSU Red.
Yeah, I really love just the adaptation, the understanding from Ambrose to take the map control with no hesitation that's been given to them. They don't worry about a roam that's not there. They don't really have consistent utility. You can now see that they're trying to apply pressure on the bomb side. Hydro also potentially going for a very long flank. But with a minute and 30 still on the board, an execution and more than likely going to be able to push the only other player on this top floor, there's still time for them to deal and worry about. But a pick from Gavin is going to make that even more difficult.
Especially with that pick, it's going to delay St. Ambrose checking the flank so much. Hydro working his way all the way into top solar, and he's pressuring on this flank right now, doing so much damage to B14, but he isn't quite going to be able to get the kill. Doesn't really need to, though. He just drops back to site and is completely content with his time delay.
Yeah, that's phenomenal from them. You get a huge operator like Capital off the board. There is no info and no real map control for Ambrose to get an additional pick, to get that refrag. On top of that, going into this execution completely blind and no semblance that they are aware of these players inside of kitchen. As Hydro, he finds a second in the round.
So unfortunate. Ambrose doing a great job in the early round of taking space, but they just were not holding flank at all. And for Hydro's great. No, they're not going to do it right. Almost. Another pick going NCSU Red's way. They wanted good info towards 45, but they're going to need to capitalize on it. They're going to need to do so very quick, but another 2 picks. Double kill for Hydro, and another pick from Fabled leaves Blah Blah as the last alive, and he gets cut down from Hydro. A flawless for NCSU's defense. Space taken by the Monty, but immediately retaken by the defense, and it's just nothing for St. Ambrose's attack.
A round to start off for Ambrose where you can really define it as a struggle. Early on, you talked about how they got so much free control over by Trophy and Solarium, and then in turn got control over by Piano, but that was map space that was given to them. Not one NC State player was even anywhere around that part of the map, making sure that, you know, they played exactly what they wanted to, that they had all of their positions and their utility on the one space of the map they wanted to focus on, that being top mez and library. And once it came down for the execute, once it came down for the attack to try and push out that defense from that top position, there was no real semblance, especially with little to no info on the players, losing that opening pick and that not being able to use that Monty as a consistent spearhead to push those defenders out of their power positions. There was never a semblance that Ambrose had any kind of hold on that map.
Yeah, chat getting pulled up because we did see the unfortunate whiff from Hydro. His positioning more than made up for it. 3 kills for him in the round, and even though it gets a little bit shaky towards the end, NCSU with a flawless round to start on what is otherwise should really be an attacker-sided map. They don't even really need to be super flashy. They don't even really need to hit all their shots. If everything just goes their way and the attack falls apart, even if they take so much space. Now for St. Ambrose, seems like they're going for a very similar attack. Once again, droning out kitchen side. Once again, doing their due diligence to make space for the Monty and then taking space off of it. The problem, once again, came from not having any flank denial. And besides the Dokkaebi change for St. Ambrose, that's kind of a roundabout way to deal with that.
Yeah, you can see that Ambrose really wants to focus on just getting that additional info that they didn't have in the previous round. Because of that, they're bringing that Brava and the Dokkaebi. But if you look at NC State, not only do they have a mute, but they have both an Echo and a Maestro, equalizing that info game to the attack. And I think it's something that, especially with those mutes, and then getting that opening pick on a flank that they were not suspecting whatsoever, also giving a free kill on the window. Ambrose, this lack of info, this lack of any idea of where NC State is playing has costed them these 2 rounds so far.
Yeah, the 2 operators that you could really see being the solution for the flanks that are coming out of NCSU Red could either be the info of the sound from the calls that Dokkaebi gives, or hacked cams that Doobie could have gotten later in the round, and both of those 2 operators just got absolutely killed very early on by Gavin. It's a rough start for St. Ambrose, and although they're breaching open boiler and pressuring towards a plant, NCSU just have so many bodies on site. Monty needs to do so much damage, and he's not even going to find anything reinforced. Peeking around beyond the shield, gets 1, gets a second, and Hydra once again finding the last kill, closing it out in once again a flawless defense.
Every sense of the word is struggling. I mean, just as you said there, it's rough. And to be fair, the idea, especially the operators that Ambrose is playing, is phenomenal. I think the read that they didn't have enough info, in turn bringing both the Dokkaebi and a Brava to counteract that, to just give them that little bit of info. But because they weren't quick enough with that info, they gave away not only 1, but 2 free picks to 1 player. We're not prepared, obviously didn't have that crossfire set up to get that refrag, but then in turn also, they're not really playing into any of these power operators, any of these power strats they're bringing really well. The Monty specifically, continuously trying to use him as a spearhead, but the way that Monty is playing, just isolating himself for the rest of the attacking team, puts himself on an island where we even saw in that round where he was inside a pillar on the bomb site. It allows for NC State to just play around him. He is no real threat, and they just use it to bait a couple of kills. And if they can't play in to these certain positions, whether it be a Monty, whether it be the info game, then NC State is going to continue to take advantage of it.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try it one more time and then never do it again. Rappo is changing off of a shield, and none of St. Ambrose are picking it up. We talked about shields being up on the board, something that very rarely makes it all the way through the ban phase. 2 of them, the Blitz and the Monty. St. Ambrose, after 2 rounds of failing spectacularly, have chosen to not go for that at all. Again, Rappo playing it for the first 2, has chosen to play onto the Buck instead, and it's a much more fluid lineup for St. Ambrose. You still have that info game of the Dokkaebi and a little bit from the IQ, but, I mean, the way that NCSU is just running around and pushing them directly in their faces, I don't know that it'll be enough.
I mean, what Ambrose really needs to do is just move a little bit slower. A lot of these opening kills are isolated 1v1 gunfights. Whether it be a player just completely alone fighting an NCSU defender, or it's people on a drone and they just can't spot one guy. It's continuously a free-related player in the opening round because they don't move slow enough, because they don't have back off of it. They just give away these free opening picks. The good thing for them in this round is that NC State is playing a little bit slower. Not going to be giving them that opportunity to shut down that entry gunfight and allowing for them to just work this wall near the bomb site.
The problem really is reinforced in the basement. Coming out of Snowmobile Garage, there is always flank potential out of NCSU Red. It's going to be reinforced this round. Yeah, like you were talking about, the pressuring towards site, they're throwing in a few grenades, but they got up to here at about 2 minutes, and they've wasted 30 seconds just clearing all the pieces of utility that NCSU Red have. They don't have any breach, they don't have any space towards the wall, and already opening pick once again going to NCSU Red off the back of Gavin's shotgun directly to the face of Momo. Trade from Doobie, though. Hold on. Another one could be found by Gavin. A double kill as he swings. Traded immediately, but it's still the kills that NCSU needs. And another from Reinforce, popping up on that flank and getting the all-important kill for NCSU to put them in the man advantage. There's yellow pings. They have info, but St. Ambrose are forced onto the aggression. And they're not doing that at all. Seconds left. They're holding the cut on him. But all Reinforce really needs to do is just delay out time. If he can buy for his team just a few more seconds, they can play the 2v2 on site in a low time situation. This is just a win for P14. Even though he goes down, once again, it's a 2 versus 2 with 30 seconds left, and Blah Blah and P14 are completely scrambled. NCSU holding these long angles. It's going to be really difficult for P14 to get back onto site. This is going pretty rough for them, but it's the most winnable round that we've seen out of them. All the other 2 rounds have been completely flawless, so them being able to find 2 picks back is so important. This 2v2, although it looks dire, is very winnable for St. Ambrose attack. Going for a plant on main wall, and NCSU springing into the retake early, Blubbo with a cover, and now finally an advantage for St. Ambrose in a 2 versus 1 post plant. Blubla going outside to slant window, holding the long angle for Cypher to walk into. He's the only player on NCSU that has not found a kill, and he needs to go so big in this round. Find 2 in a post plant, sees the head, but isn't quite able to find a kill. Needs to walk all the way out to breach, start the defuse, and at 18 seconds left, it just seems unwinnable. The time ticking down for Cypher, and he knows he needs to find at least 1 kill to get even any space for himself, and it's not going to be found. After 2 rounds of NCSU's defense, St. Ambrose finally answers back.
Yeah, a phenomenal heat check round from Ambrose. A round where NC State got way too aggressive, especially for the positions over by top mez that Ambrose had. You saw that, yet again, another round where Ambrose took so much space so quickly at the feet of NCU, giving it to them. That's allowing the Jaeger to go for that flank over by blue stairs. But then with 50 seconds on the clock, just isolating himself in Mudroom, putting himself in a poor position, they got that 2v2. They got that isolated kill with around 35 seconds on the clock. That was plenty of time. And then those last 2 defenders away from that bomb site on the default plant position just didn't react in time, giving yet another isolated 1v1 because of no info. The info game will continue to be the do or die for these rounds for both teams, but it's also a round where if NC State just played a little bit more passive, those opportunities would not have been given to Ambrose to get those picks.
Rappo not finding a pick on the buck, but it seems like him not being on a shield is the win condition for St. Ambrose. Maybe that's just my pattern recognition brain. But either way, he's choosing onto Nook, not going onto a shield once again. And for St. Ambrose, it was a completely different look out of that round. Instead of just being super disconnected, trying to find anything off the back of the Monty, they were playing bodies, trading each other very effectively. It was even man count for almost the entirety of that round. Besides a flank for NCSU Red and a great post plant for St. Ambrose, it was really neck and neck that round that we really didn't see for the first two. Now Brappo on this Nook is lurking, walking his way through West Main, and if NCSU Red are playing off these cameras and are playing off of info rather than playing off of each other, they could fall victim to it.
I really like this small change of just having a solo lurk player. We saw in the last round that NC State got a little bit complacent and weren't ready for the just overall structure, allowing for switches on the last round. And in theory, they shouldn't be aware and prepared for this lurk. Still, you're going to have to get rid of this utility, get an opening pick, but you're also going to have to clear this top position. Even if Brappo is able to get a pick over by bottom blue, he's either going to get traded or forced back down. The do or die system of this round really comes down to top Mez and Gavin. Getting the opening pick is not how you want to start the round off.
Yeah, once again, he seems like that mailbox player, but Brappo getting the trade on to reinforce, and that's an incredibly important position. He's lurked his way all the way into the library. This is usually the spine of the defense. It's where the defensive players rotate in and out of sight. But now taking this position is just so important. Unfortunately, for St. Ambrose, a pick is found for NCSU, and they find themselves in the man advantage with Brappo, very well known on those library stairs. But it makes this position held by Gavin all that much worse. He's stuck in that corner. If he drops back to sight, it is going to be a little bit risky, but it seems like he's playing kill here. He knows the risks, and he's well aware! Triple kill for him! He does not care! And even though he's traded out, still advantage held by NCSU.
Now a 2v3 situation that nade won't have any effect almost takes his life away. But yet again, another similar problem for this attack is no info on the bomb site. These Grim Bees will be able to not get any info, but push that player out of their position. A drone also will be able to just give them a semblance of where these last three players are.
30 seconds left and 2 smoke canisters. One actually used very early, although St. Ambrose have not dropped onto site at all. NCSU not really saving their utility for the plant denial, but wasting time anyways on a shield atop library. 15 seconds left. St. Ambrose completely doubled up, playing bodies, playing off of each other, but they're still very worried about a flank that for this round finally is not coming out of NCSU. The site players are holding it down though, and Cypher taking the head clean off of the last player for St. Ambrose. And although they answer back last round, NCSU showing their dominance once again.
I talked about it. As soon as we saw that lurk go from bottom blue stairs, that position didn't really have any effect. Sure, he was able to clear that blue position, but nobody was on library stairs. Nobody on Mez double window. And sure, you were able to get that control, but you weren't able to really push onto that library position. And eventually when they did, they got traded. And when they were in a man deficit, it doesn't matter if that player inside of library lost his life or not, you still were going to be in a man deficit. And it's kind of a continuous problem where we see that NC State does a phenomenal job at playing their power positions, understanding when they need to fall back and when they need to give the map control to the attack. And because of it, it puts Ambrose in this false statehood that they think they've gone map control that's going to be able to be useful, and in turn puts them in a false sense of security, not being fully aware of these players still playing in these power positions long after the rest of the defending team has vacated.
And they also just need to have somebody that can get the kill on Gavin. I mean, I was talking about like, oh yeah, there's so much pressure now that St. Ambrose have taken library stairs. Gavin's gonna be, so worried and probably drop back to site. No, he just holds, takes the 1v1, and I mean, site players won the round for NCSU Red, but he's 8-2, and every single round it seems like he's having an impactful play like that. The first round, he just runs around and finds 2 kills. It's just absolute insanity for him. And for this round for St. Ambrose, you really just need to shut him down and stop NCSU from getting that opening pick, because the first 2 rounds that were flawless, NCSU just got opening pick and steamrolled it to a victory. And in that last round, you find opening pick once again, and Gavin just goes absolutely crazy from library. So shutting him down, and I was going to say shutting down the other power, operators and strong players of NCSU Red, but I hate to say it, but it kind of just seems like Gavin right now.
Yeah, and I think it's also a sense where Gavin, he's not playing on mute jammers. He's not playing a Vigil, so if you just bring a Deimos out, you can track him, and at least 60% of the time, find his position, which is more than likely going to be away from the bomb site in a very aggressive and isolated position. Exactly where he is now, and still being able to not only find the opening kill, but getting rid of the thermite. Sure, you still have P14 on that ace, but the thermite, the main spearhead for getting those walls open. And now you're not going to be able to get both walls open, or at least efficiently, and they still haven't pushed him out.
Yeah, the strat is 4 players on site and Gavin running around. Bravo finally able to get the trade. That is a very important pick, but it's a minute and 20. And St. Ambrose are still dilly-dallying up on the 3rd floor. Now, it seems like the rest of the team has taken a lot of space towards mid-floor, so it's not as much time wasted as it first appeared, but Doobie looking for a freebie. It seems like him and Brappo are very, very adept at lurking, and it seems like if they can get a freebie, that's what they will look for. When a minute left, Brappo is starting to work vertical as well. Seems like that's going to be another potential win condition for St. Ambrose in this round.
Yeah, and talking about hard breach, wasting one of those Selma charges, actually 2 of them, to get the hatch open. You're not going to have wine wall open. You're not going to have that back pressure whatsoever. So not only does NC State able to play into a very one-dimensional push, but somehow in some way they lose the gunfights.
Go from Doobie. Traded back by Cypher, though. Man, disadvantage for NCSU, and they're swinging into St. Ambrose while the plant is going down, but the cover, once again, is strong for NCSU. Plant goes down. And a man advantage 2v1 once again in the post plant. St. Ambrose are never losing those. If they can get the plant down, they're winning the rounds.
Another round where Ambrose got that site control, was in a position to get that bomb down, and then NC State was not able to read into it. I think they have found a consistent problem, a consistent fault that they can take advantage of, but the problem is getting to that point. I think these late rounds haven't necessarily been a huge factor for Ambrose, aside from that one attack inside of Wine, but it's the early round. Dealing with Gavin, continuously just giving him picks. We talked about how, sure, he was eventually traded with a bandit, but he did his job. He understood that he wasn't going to be able to trick, had all 4 of his bandit canisters down, and he wasted half of the round with it. And now they can go back to the exact same bomb site, and they can easily say to themselves that we only lost that round because we didn't read into that execute soon enough. A very simple problem of just being a little bit more aware in that later half, the later 30 to 45 seconds of the round.
Also, now that we have time, can you say the word library for me?
Library.
There's an R there.
There is?
Yeah, library.
10 seconds to insertion.
I can say library. I can say library. Yeah, that was worse.
That's gross. Now for NCSU Red, even though St. Ambrose are bringing it back and it might look a little bit scary, them losing the momentum like this, again, it's traditionally seen, this map that is traditionally seen as attacking sided, so them getting a 3, even just a 3-3 half if they end up losing this round, is more than okay. Once again, going back to the basement and once again doing the exact same play, but with another roamer. Doobie finding double! He just walks into main stairs, gets 2 kills, opening and a second doubling down, and the kills are just all going St. Ambrose's way. What is going on?
Gavin, for the very first time, because he's alone, doesn't have anything. Both of the last 2 players completely isolated. If St. Ambrose want to, they could just hit this site in a 1v5.
Gavin is looking for something. He ran out. He ran out for just a brief second, looking for a kill on St. Ambrose, looking for something back. Because once again, NCSU very rarely this match have found themselves in a deficit at all, but they have never found themselves in a 2 versus 5. And after that quick hit, St. Ambrose are slowing down just so much. They have the advantage, and they're really scared of throwing it away. That's a great play. If you can get the advantage, if you can play the time, if you can get kills like this, another from Doobie shutting down Gavin, and now Cypher, the last alive, in a 1 versus 5 retake scenario. 40 seconds on the clock, and there's just so many angles to clear, so many people to kill, and so much to do as the first whack-a-mole pops up and the second to trade. Blah closes it out. A flawless round for St. Ambrose this time, and closes it out in a 3-3 half.
You made a joke a little while ago that one of the main factors of NC State's success was just Gavin. And to be fair, in the rounds where they just ignore Gavin, specifically the last one, and they just go for, it doesn't necessarily have to be a quick sight hit like they did in the previous round, but if they just change that early round, do completely different, if they don't go for that full clear, trying to push out and trying to play into Gavin, then NC State isn't necessarily aware of it. They don't understand how to play against it, and then that brings up the kind of problem of the NC State's lack of adaptability. When you don't play into these aggressive roamers very early on, you don't really see an additional factor in those defensive rounds from NC State. The good thing for both teams, specifically NC State, is that they get to switch sides now, and we get to see how effective these players are going to be switching over. Obviously, you're going to need to have more people than just Gavin in this early round, now that you are on the attack, have effectiveness in that entry department. But again, we still don't even understand how effective and how Ambrose even defends.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to have individual impact on the defensive side, because you can just set up in those 1-4 defensive holds that NCSU were doing on that basement hold. They had 4 on site and just said, all right, Gavin, go kill. On attack, it's going to be a lot harder, although he swapped onto the Dokkaebi. That helps his team, but it also helps him do a little bit of roam clear. If he can get himself into a position, he can walk up, I don't know, towards library or opposite side of the map, or just kind of insert himself on the map at all. He can pop one of those calls, get an opening pick, get cams, and then even if he goes down, he'll have gotten himself a lot of value for his team.
It really goes to show that, you know, whether or not Gavin will play individually by himself, that he has the utility and info to back it up. So far, NC State moving a little bit slow, not trying to step on that gas just yet, just trying to apply pressure. They understand that there is a heavy hold over by Solarium and Trophy. The question now, though, is there an idea of the player inside of Kitchen? A couple of shots missed. They will be eventually aware of it. Cypher able to take him down to start it off, and you get a Dokkaebi phone call with it.
Yeah, that was not what I was expecting from the early round. We've seen dominance mechanically from Gavin, just set up in those mailbox positions. I didn't really expect him to be doing the Scooby-Doo walk on mid-floor. Either way, for NCSU, it ends up in an opening pick, and Cam's hacked exactly what I said would be the perfect start for NCSU's attack.
Hydra really using that LMG to its fullest capability. Gavin, you can see he knows that there's a player top Solarium. They understand that they haven't fully pushed him out, but Gavin, a couple of shots from the bomb site. This allows for P14's position to continue to have so much success. El Brapo able to eventually finish him off, and now there's no way for NC State to even find this player. In P14, he finds another.
Hunting Hydra is an incredibly important kill. Looking for another Reinforce, looking for that battle back, because the problem is they're just bleeding bodies, but Reinforce finds one, swings for the second, isn't quite able to find it, doesn't know that he's dropped all the way back towards that bathroom door. And a few shots going into Reinforce. 35 seconds left. St. Ambrose, or sorry, NCSU Red on their attack really need to hit the go button. That's going to get delayed just a little bit by Elysian Mine. Still doing a little bit of remodeling as NCSU Red, setting up for their attack, but taking space is Doobie, finding one. Almost a second, just a little shy of that second kill. Cypher finds the trade, double for him, and it's back in a 2 versus 2. Fabled still on the rappel, but he's got Case. He needs to find his way into sight. 10 seconds left as his cover falls, as Cypher hits the ground. There's nothing for him to do as the timer ticks down. He either is forced to plant at 0-0 or just take the loss. He's gonna go down swinging. Valiant effort, but at 0-0, when you hear those footsteps, you get off plant because stats are the only thing you can save.
A round where it all fell apart simply because they couldn't push that top Solarium player out. The entirety of that round in focus from NC State was getting that Solarium control and getting that plant down on Master. Nobody on highway windows putting pressure onto that jacuzzi, or not jacuzzi, but bathroom position. Nobody putting pressure anywhere by top mez or even piano. And because that lack of back pressure did not come out from NC State, Ambrose just sat there. All they had to do was hold essentially 3 angles. Nobody even on the double window repel too. There was no real semblance of NC State to actually work and clear the on-site utility, apply pressure onto the bomb site before they went to the execution, and you just allow for Ambrose to just set up these crossfires and then just allow for these turns to mow these attackers down. It's a round where NC State's their overall view of the round was just so tunnel vision and just didn't have that adaptability, something that I spoke about that I was a little bit worried on their defensive half.
I want to take a little bit to talk about just how good St. Ambrose are doing at battling back. This is something that we very rarely see, especially in collegiate. If a team starts off a map by going 0-2 in flawless fashion, that usually means that it's just a complete mismatch in skill. GG, go next, and the match is already over. St. Ambrose have battled back. Now they have the advantage, and Gavin, once sitting at 8-2, is now 9-5. They've shut down the star player for NCSU, and going on to their defense, they look like a completely different team. They've completely swung the momentum back, and now they're finding openings of their own. Doobie, from Gavin's position of library, finds a spawn peak, and insult to injury, puts a little question mark in chat.
Another instance where Gavin tries to put himself in a entry position, whether or not he wanted to. Doobie just going out of his way to find that pick, but a situation where he loses his life on an operator with so much utility. There are only 2 nades on Hydro, and aside from that, you can't really clear this defender utility. You can't clear the shield. Maybe you forced to use one of his Ash charges, but the problem there is you don't want to waste that utility. You want to maybe use that directly onto the bomb site, and on top of that, no immediate trade really just allows for this attack to just sit and boil in their own blood. They have no real info on the bomb site, on the extension onto the top floor in Mez, so they don't even exactly know what they're about to go into.
I love the fact that Doobie immediately got in chat and started an argument with Gavin too, just to tilt him that little bit more. I was talking about how he slowed down, and Gavin's definitely going to feel that as well, but it gets even more difficult when you have the enemy team typing in chat, reminding you of the fact that you've slowed down from that dominance. Now, St. Ambrose on their defense are now fully feeling NCSU's attack. Reinforced, getting the pick onto Doobie though. A little bit of an overswing from Suicide, and he puts an NS in chat. Maybe slow down the inevitable text from Gavin saying get on cams. It's a 4 versus 4 though, and at a minute left, St. Ambrose need to continue to fight back against this onslaught. And then pick back onto Reinforce though.
Yeah, the problem here is that Hydro, his position is fully aware. They haven't cleared the shield. They haven't cleared the player in top mez. And NC State, they have no real control. These Habana pellets, these holes aren't going to help you. You need a pick. You need somebody to go huge.
Unfortunately, for NCSU, that person go huge is going to be P14. Pushing the dagger in and twisting it into the back of NCSU Red's attack. Now, Cypher just a little bit too slow to find that pick onto Momo. But once again, they're stalling out. They're looking for freebies, and nothing is going to get given to them. Blabla sitting on the floor gets a shotgun kill into Cypher. And at 7 seconds left, Fabled, once again, with Diffuser and with no space, Momo takes his head clean off. And we're looking at a great start to to St. Ambrose's defense 2 very strong rounds.
And because of that, NC State is going to take their timeout. I think this is probably one of the most well-timed timeouts that I've seen in our semester so far. And it is kind of a no-brainer. NC State had no way into those rounds. Not only were their overall pushes early on in that attacking rounds just so simplistic that the defense kind of already had the playbook. You just hear a couple of shots, you understand what default cams are shot out, and then you know exactly what the attack is going for. And on top of that, you really see how much NC State relies on playing this pure fragging game. And now translating onto the attack where they are forced to clear this utility, it's not a game that they really seem to be comfortable with.
The discomfort very much showing for NCSU. Hopefully after this timeout, they can get their star players back activated. Gavin. But either way, if they can get even just one more player on their team fragging like Gavin very early on, they could very well get back into this. The problem for them, though, is this seems like a very defensive-sided matchup, and their attacks haven't really looked all that strong. We talked about, St. Ambrose later on their attacking half kind of actually finding form, finding the ability to go for a play, to take space, to set up a lurk, and to work off the back of that very well. For NCSU, they haven't really had all that many spots of brightness. They've taken space early on, but St. Ambrose has gotten a spawn peak, tilted NCSU's players even more, and then just continued to get kill after kill after kill, while NCSU continues to flounder, waste time, and not even get onto site for the plants that started St. Ambrose winning rounds on their attack.
How do you say the new ops name?
Raura, I think.
Rarua?
Raura?
I'll go Arua. Cypher, bringing her out, though, the very first time that I think anybody has really seen this newest operator be played. I talked about in that early round that you have to have something to back it up. And I think specifically this idea from NC State is to go for that execution. Whether it be clearing out this top floor, that's kind of a decision that you make based off of, are you able to use this floor as to clear out this defender utility, so far having the effect getting this castle barricade. But on top of that, if they see an opportunity to go for that quick site hit, if Ambrose leaves that bomb site relatively safely with this vertical, it's more than impossible to do. I do think their ability, if they can just get one player and weaken this crossflare on this top floor, it's going to give them an opening into this round.
Well, it also stops St. Ambrose's defense from going for things like spawn peaks, or retaking very easily. So if they can maintain the man advantage by stopping spawn peaks and then set up just an ironclad post plant, then this round could go a lot different. Unfortunately, they lose opening pick once again, and Doobie is just staying his... just staying himself. Once again, putting question marks in chat, and once again, picking another player on NCSU Red to get a little riled up.
I mean, they're just not prepared. They don't have a Thatcher. They don't have anything to really get rid of this defender utility aside from these Flores drones. Reinforced, though, he is able to find one player, but the problem is that Ambrose, they're just going to bring up an additional player, but Gavin with a phenomenal opening. But blah blah. He answers back quickly.
But shutting off the crossfire gave them so much space, but it didn't matter. That was actually a really good play to cut off the cross held by St. Ambrose's defense, take the space in library, and then potentially push that forward to master, take a little bit more space, and then take top floor that way. But it didn't work because blah blah just killed absolutely everybody. The past few rounds, it had been Doobie that had been going crazy, but for St. Ambrose, there is a depth to their team, and when they need someone else to step up, that's definitely what happens. Reinforce. Taking space off of Ego Balcony, looking for an answer back, because the problem for them is now they're in the man disadvantage, and St. Ambrose are backing up, giving them space, giving them that advantage as far as the entirety of top floor, but at 20 seconds left, it's once again a problem of converting to that mid floor. Reinforce finding a pick on blah blah. That's a great kill, but at 14 seconds left, you're essentially at a man disadvantage because one of those players needs to either stick plant or get a kill. P14 finding one. Fable finds a second. He needs to find this kill if he has a chance in hell of winning. Shoots a C4. Goes for the swing and gets the kill. NCSU Red finally getting around on the board. He shoots the C4 in a wonderful shot and plays that absolutely perfectly.
The ability, if you give the opportunity for NC State to play a game of trades, to play pure gunfights, that is a game that you are not going to win. And I was going to give them props. It did look like a round that they were going to win a 2v3. Obviously, only one pick. They were eventually able to find on that isolated player inside of Master. But if they didn't, that entire top floor, specifically the castle barricade, the head holes going into offices, made it so if you got that office control, you wouldn't immediately have a way into that master. You still had to clear piano. You still had to worry about closet and bathroom. But through all of that, they gave an isolated 2v1. Played that 2v2 poorly, giving essentially 2 isolated 1v1s, even though there was only one last player on NC State. And it's a situation where we saw the exact same thing when NC State defended. Is once they found success, they just got a little bit, too over their own heads and played way too aggressive, giving those opportunities in gunfights to the attack.
5 seconds to go.
For NCSU, they've finally, like St. Ambrose on their attack camp, found the formula to success. For St. Ambrose, it was forcing the plant down, either having the perfect play to take site and then hold a post plant, or just going super quickly, blitzing NCSU and catching them completely off guard. Now for NCSU, they weren't able to get plant down in that round, but as long as they can use the clock correctly, not delay enough time, they're going to win on gunfights in those dying seconds of the round. And as long as they can feel comfortable about that, as long as they can feel comfortable in that as well and get down into those even man count or even slight disadvantage 2 versus X's, seems like that's going to be the path to success for them.
You can really see just how NC State has understood their own mistakes, moving a lot
Attackers
slower this
located a
time
bomb.
around. They are aware of P14's position, but P14 played that horribly. Reinforced probably should have died ages ago. But because of that, not only do they lose the opening pick, but they lose a player in a very crucial power position that his entire goal there was to waste time. They may not be aware of Mom King.
Momo finds one! Onto Hydra, looking in the completely wrong direction. And even though it's a little bit of a misplay early on from St. Ambrose, it could very well be salvaged as he finds a few scans through the floor and could get a C4 into not just 1, but 2, and only gets damage onto Reinforce. He doesn't get a kill at all. Still a 4 versus 4, and now no C4, no ability to find it back towards site. Momo,
What?
I'd say all he can do is delay time, but he finds a kill on Decipher? How does that happen?
Losing that opening pick now not only puts NC State in the deficit, but now they have to get aggressive. Also having to worry about Momo on the flank. Using this info now, trying to time it perfectly with a minute left. There is plenty of time for NC State to worry about, but there's so much for them to worry about.
NCSU Reds attack once again, getting right up to the line. At this point, they have 45 seconds left, but the problem is not time for them in this round. The problem is man count as they lose Gavin and find themselves in a 2 versus 4, but Fable taking a lot of early space, actually starting the plant a lot earlier and Reinforced finding the kill on Doobie. That's a great shot and a much needed one, as now time working in their favor. 40 seconds left on this retake. Momo finding his way all the way from basement to a flank position. Finds one under Reinforce. It's a great kill. Do not need to confirm that at all. And as Claymore finds a kill onto Momo, blah blah finally finding the cutoff. Looking for a second Claymore because he was very nervous. But either way, St. Ambrose find themselves on match point.
What a game.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What a game. Like this is one of those games where it is so chaotic. Every single round, both teams are trying to put something new on the board. And because of that, both teams kind of go into situations where they're not fully aware. You can see that NC State was not prepared for that flank from Momo. which essentially never really dealt with it. They kind of went into that execution with the mindset of just ignoring him, allowing for him to just isolate himself on an island. But because of that, because he was able to find a pick out of nowhere, creating it like pulling a rabbit out of a magic hat,
Attackers need to
they were
locate and
forced to
defuse
deal
as
with it.
many
I
bombs
think
as
this
they
is a
can.
problem that we have now continuously saw
Bomb
on this
located by
attack
attackers.
for NC State is if they see a problem roamer, they don't really want to go and deal with it. Something that Ambrose did the complete opposite of, but also has its own problems, allowing for these roamers to get these late flanks, to continue to allow these power positions to have so much control over these attacking rounds, and there's not an execution where NC State is really safe.
10 seconds.
The interesting thing for St. Ambrose's defense is they're going to bar, and
5 seconds to go.
I'm gonna, call them out, but also NCSU didn't play it either. Neither team played the Mira. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that both teams seem very hold on. Spawn peek coming out for St. Ambrose and doesn't quite find a kill. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that both teams have been playing a lot of Ash, but the fact that no Mira has been played, especially on the bar side on this map, is something that I find a little bit weird.
Yeah, and also to bank off of that point is we've now seen both teams, specifically on this bar bomb site, continuously bring a Wamai, the main counter to Ash getting those mirror charges, and if you just throw a Wamai or two, you kind of just get rid of that threat. So again, I no real point there or execution. I still also am as just confused as you. And I think it also really doesn't necessarily make it necessarily difficult. Both teams on their defense on these extensions, specifically on the top floor on reading, haven't really had any difficulties. You can see that finally NC State is bringing that back pressure onto the windows, also doing a little bit of droning on that first floor. A phenomenal effort from NC State to really check every single mark off of their box and just try and eliminate every single possibility. And St. Ambrose, lucky for
Reinforce. Lurking through the basement, looking for one. He knows that Fenrir, or at least one more person, is here. Laser giving info to Doobie. Unfortunately, he walks past him, doesn't quite clear all of his angles, and now Doobie set up for a nasty flank. Opening is going to go NCSU's way, unfortunately for him, though. And another kill for NCSU. P14 hits the deck, and now, sitting at the two-man advantage, now there's still a lurk capability for Doobie, and he's not going to be the one to find the pick. Momo finds one onto Gavin, and at 1 minute left, still a flank on the board, still kitchen hallway, but now as shots fired from Doobie, the info is known, the jig is up, and he's forced to drop back to somewhere just a little bit safer as NCSU sit in the driver's seat of this round.
Yeah, Doobie's completely isolated from the rest of his team, and if they are able to isolate him, that's fine. But the problem is, yet another roamer going to this late execution phase of the round where NC State has no idea of their position. Oh.
It happens. I on occasion have times where I just cannot shoot a drone that's sitting directly in front of me. Unfortunately, for them, actually fortunately, they sit in man advantage, so even just a few seconds that go astray doesn't really mean all that much, but they're really milking this time. They're not really doing anything. 15 seconds left, and yeah, they have the advantage, but they're forced into uncomfortable fights. A double kill for Momo. He swings for third, and he finds it. But a trade from St. Ambrose. And kills on kills on kills, and a trade from Doobie the very last second. It's 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. And St. Ambrose, although they sat at a man deficit when it came into that execute, they come out with a victory, 7-4 on the first map of our series.
St. Ambrose to start off Chalet went down 2-0. After that, storming back, getting a 3-3 defensive half, and then going on to just play an absolute killer defense. And I think the main problem for that NC State roster was just the attack and their inability to clear those power positions close to the site, and also the inability to just clear any defender utility whatsoever. We saw a couple of rounds where the defense allowed for them to get those gunfights, allow for rounds to fall down to whether or not those individual players were able to shut down those 1v1s. But once the defense found into that, they just took that away from them.
Can NCSU get activated again? Can their star players start fragging, and can they have a miraculous come from behind victory like we saw on that map for St. Ambrose? Figure out when we come back.
We'll just head to us. Just leave it.
Hell with that.
Oh, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it.
Careful!
Oh God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there.
No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you covered. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
On the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, do you get the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
What exactly is plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. 100% pure protein-packed power in a stick. I want Wenzel's Farm. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. What exactly is a meat substitute or plant-based jerky? Call me a meathead, but when I want a meat snack, I want real meat. The kind you find at Wenzel's Farm and the only kind they use. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked right here in the heartland of America. Wenzel's Farm offers 14 flavors of mouth-watering protein-packed power in a stick, except no substitute. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. Looking for something to power your day? Then look no further than Wenzel's Farm Snack Sticks. Handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked, these protein-packed power sticks deliver truly sustainable energy. Wenzel's Farm, real meat for real life. You work hard and play hard. You need real fuel to power your day. Not some tofu stuffed rice cake or plant-based meat substitute. No, you need honest-to-goodness, homegrown, protein-packed power in a stick. You need Wenzel's Farm. Quality cuts of meat handcrafted in small batches and naturally hardwood smoked for a great-tasting snack that delivers real energy. Power up and put the smack down on whatever your day brings with Wenzel's Farm. Real meat for real life.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
Hell with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is.
And after an absolutely chaotic map 1, Chalet going 7-4 St. Ambrose's way, if you only caught the first 2 rounds of that matchup, you'd be very confused about that scoreline. I am Irish, joined with me as Goose, and I mean, just to talk about the insanity that ensued last map and the comeback victory for St. Ambrose, that was pretty incredible. Do you think they can continue the dominance that we saw in the later half of that map?
I do think so. I think that's kind of a map where I can efficiently say that they were just a little bit sleepy in that beginning half and then they eventually woke up. Because I think specifically how they approached situations in that early half after not only going down 0-2 but eventually 3-1, there were a lot of gunfights in positions where they just simply were not necessarily aware of what NC State were doing. And then after that, going 3-3, translating to a very successful a defensive half, that semblance of understanding their opponent was all there. It was a problem that just wasn't there. Aside from that one round that NC State won, where it was a 2v1 that Ambrose probably should have won. But I think going into Clubhouse, it's one of those things where because you have a team that is so consistently good now awake, it's up to NC State to sufficiently change how they play overall as a team.
Now, last map was St. Ambrose's map pick, and however much you want to read into that, because again, these are very standard maps. These are just super bog standard, the most cookie cutter comp maps that you could possibly see. But if you want to read into it at all, maybe you could say, hey, that kind of got away from NCSU Red. Maybe they didn't have as many tools in their belt on the attacking side, but going into this map, they're really forced to show, one, why they picked this map, but two, that they can change up their attacks and actually start to put the screws to St. Ambrose that they really, really couldn't last map.
Yeah, and I think the main problem for Chalet on the attack for NC State was their inability to attack these bomb sites from multiple directions. There were a lot of rounds where there was real no back pressure on these bomb sites, whether it be an entire push or just one player kind of procking and prodding and just trying to draw the attention away from the defense. I think now going on a Clubhouse, it's a problem that they won't have as much because Clubhouse, how it's formed, kind of forces attacking teams to go into this thinking that we have to attack from multiple points. But again, I think it's a problem that we will still continuously see, and that is kind of the do or die if NC State is able to fix that and get at least 2 rounds on the attack.
Mirror ban is interesting. Very interesting. Again, one of the talking points that we talked about last map was the fact that even in strong sites, even on a strong map for her, she was not played at all. Going into this map, seeing her banned out by NCSU Red is an interesting choice. Yes, maybe they're comfortable on this map. Yes, maybe they have some pocket strats and some just hard bans that their coach has told them, yeah, okay, playing around this ban, but I mean, not changing that up, not seeing after the first map, hey, even when there are strong sides for Amira, even when there are incredibly strong sites, maybe this team just won't play her. Maybe we can abuse her and this team will just not let it be used at all. Either way, a little bit strange. But going into St. Ambrose's defensive half, they're swapping up. Actually not swapping up. They racked up the rounds on their defensive side. If they can keep the momentum from last map, if they can let the break just be like it was absolutely nothing and continue their dominance, you can see a very quick best of 3.
Yeah, again, as I spoke about, I think this is a situation where it is really up to just NC Red to decide if they want to kind of have a stronghold. A lot of these simple problems, like maybe just getting these castle barricades open officially, getting the walls open even, in theory should be a problem for NC Red unless they fix their coordination. I think that is another huge factor. Losing the opening pick that early on is not the way you want to start your round. Luckily enough, though, Doobie isolated. Surely they don't let him run away. and he gets away with absolute robbery.
Yeah, that's a rough way to start it. After having the attacking side absolutely slip away from you, kill after kill after kill, opening after opening after opening for St. Ambrose, do the exact same thing. Doobie once again going for spawn peak, once again finding reinforced, and new map, same as the old map.
I'm sorry, that just broke me. That is actually one of the best like player name puns I've actually seen in a while. I talked about this a little bit a while ago. One of my favorite things about collegiate is the collegiate names. I mean, just the factor for these guys to just come up with the most random and funniest names is hilarious. But one thing you don't normally see from a lot of collegiate teams is a heavy presence and focus on trying to retain control of CCTV, rotating the bandit all the way over to try to trick the walls. Default cam being shot out. They more than are aware of Gavin's position. Not going to be able to trick that wall. But now, with only half of the round to go, they still not only have to clear all of this hard bridge, all of this utility on this CC position, but also 2 additional players with it.
That's an unfortunate whiff from Gavin. That could have been the opening pick for his team to even it back out, to give them a lot of space, to get them back into this round. But at this point, it's still a man advantage for St. Ambrose. And still so much to do for NCSU Red. Still complete control of top red, and nobody's able to hit a shot this round except for Doobie. Frepo finally popping up, getting one, almost getting a second. Hydra looking the other way and almost gets his head taken clean off, but Mumu is looking for a C4 that doesn't hit anything because nobody's on Raptors. They've taken up into cash at this point.
I mean, they're just on their heads. They have no idea where these 2 players are. Both of these extended defenders have started to rotate back down to the bomb site in a very poor opening from NC State to start off Clubhouse.
2-man advantage for St. Ambrose, and they're just letting the time tick down. Hydro is looking for the aggressive play, but there's absolutely nobody in Logi to find him. Blah blah holding the angle, but he's gonna get his head ripped clean off his body. Almost a second, but Bravo able to find the double. Another kill for Cypher, trading back, giving them just 1-man disadvantage. It's, yeah, a little bit doable until then. Momo finds one out of Fabled. And Cypher in a 1 versus 3 as time ticking down. This is very reminiscent of last map. He finds an impactless kill, and the time ticks down to 0.
The exact same problems that we saw from Schley. The inability to clear power positions, to clear defender utility. Never were able to get that CC wall open. Didn't even really try, to be honest. You could have also just opened that highway window onto CC, apply a little bit of pressure, even opened it. And to be fair, it's not like they were lacking in hard breach. It's not like they only had an Ace or a Thermite. They had both operators. They had plenty of hard breach utility to open any of those walls. And then on top of that, a couple of missed shots onto that top red player gave that opportunity for Ambrose to react to a position that they almost lost very early on. I think it's also a very good point to point out that Ambrose didn't stay in that position. They didn't continue to try to force those gunfights to shut down the round right there in CCTV. They just fell back down to the bomb site. They didn't give NC State that opportunity like we saw in the previous map of Chalet.
Attackers have located
Dude, he's getting a gold medal for trash talk. He's definitely getting a champ charm for trash talk. 1 round on the board for St. Ambrose. They're continuing their dominance, continuing the momentum, and continuing the trash talk. Because, yeah, he's just yapping away, and usually I'd say, okay, you know,
5 seconds left.
let the server talk, you know, play the game.
Attackers
But when you're
objective is
just
to defuse a bomb.
adding insult to injury like this, and you're just getting spawn peek after spawn peek and going for a punch hole spawn peek in CC, yeah, you can kind of, yeah, with the Vector with no ACOG. he could be having an ACOG on that red for spawn peek, but chooses not to. Yeah, they're just playing around. St. Ambrose having fun at this point.
I can't tell if that Valcam
You
is
just
like...
drawn past the Valcam?
Yeah, it was in between the... Okay, they did find it. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask if that's like a good or bad Valcam, because like it's kind of hidden, but at the same time, you can't really see anything. Sure, you get the idea that the player's there, but
It's
nonetheless...
good if they don't spot it, bad if they do.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
of those.
that's fair, yeah. But the problem here is, we talked about Doobie, they still don't know he's here. The exact same problem that NC State had in their previous time, where they're just not aware of these roamers, allowing for these defender positions to just have as much value, even more value, as the round grows later.
Momo King looking for an aggressive look into NCSU Red. But although the breach has been made into dirt, nobody's pushing down it at this point. Most going out to delay a little bit of time at main stairs, but NCSU Red have yet to really pressure towards this defensive hold. And like you were talking about, have yet to really pressure towards Doobie either. Finally dropping into Logi, they know that he's over towards Cash, but it seems like Doobie is just going for time delay at this point. Scans going out, they have info on him, tracking his feet, and he's kind of just stuck in that corner. But with 1:20 left, NCSU Red either have to completely give up on him, which we've seen has bit them in the back before, or can invest so much time into the clear that could really hurt them as well. Either way, even as they're ignoring him, the kills are still going St. Ambrose's way. Cypher finds a trade, but that flank is just going to kill them.
Now 3v4 position. 3v3 essentially on the bomb site. Both Gavin and Cypher very low on health. Still have Doobie. Potentially could play spoilers on that flank. You can see that now Fabled has just rotated away from that flank watch, which
Right
now
on the
gives
heels.
Doobie the opportunity to try and strike back.
Fabled is aware of this, taking a shotgun out, but he isn't able to find the kill. Damage onto Doobie, but the headshot is not found by anyone other than Doobie. Cypher on the new operator, but forced to play his gun. 25 seconds left, and as Gavin drops onto site, he gets his head taken off by Gavin. Yellow pings out for the flank, but Cypher, all he can do is find kills, and he isn't able to find any. Another closeout round for St. Ambrose, and another in a very troubling tally that just continues to tick higher and higher for St. Ambrose.
I agree with Doobie. You cannot let him roam like that. And also, one little like theorized point that I have is that there was no rotate inside of either construction or gym. So if you just had the new up rotate, shoot her door onto the master bedroom door, then you don't have that flank because they know that player's there. That Buck not only continued to play there up until the last 30 seconds of the round, but then he doubled back. And if you just rotated Cypher up there, shot a door, either one, you hear the door unshield or you hear an impact. So nonetheless, I think it's kind of a situation where it's a position where you could have use with that operator, but we've now seen specifically NC State continuously bring this new operator out, but not necessarily use or at least use her effectively.
Yeah, we saw one round on Chalet where they were able to close off a crossfire angle and get into into piano to pressure back towards bathroom. But instead of using it, instead of getting a lot of value out of it, they just walked into blah blah, who just absolutely ripped their heads off. They are using the operator, and they do have a lot of good ideas. They have a lot of good ideas on bans and maybe, you know, the perfect optimal this, perfect optimal that. But it's just not working out against St. Ambrose when Doobie just hits you on a roam, on a flank that you're just not expecting at all.
The good thing, though, for NC State is now Ambrose, they have to go to that third bomb site, that being CCTV. And in theory, this should be one of the best or at least better positions for NC State to win an attack. And it's also a position where they can just go for the site hit. They don't have to worry about these off-site positions. They can potentially get a free and easy pick. And this puts NC State in a position where they don't have to worry about those problems that they had to worry about in previous rounds. But again, just getting these simple checklist things off of the board, opening this wall, losing that opening pick, applying some vertical below, and through all that, Doobie is able to run out and find two.
Finally a trade from Reinforced, but yeah, that's just such a rough start for them. Rappo looking for the trade back, and it's blah blah instead to find it onto Gavin. A 4 versus 2 for St. Ambrose, get doubled once again. Doobie just talking in chat, but he's very much earned it.
I'm just gonna make like a highlight of like every single like Doobie play and just like put the caption as "get Doobied." I mean, to be fair though, 2v4, 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the board. You also have Cypher again. We talked about how this operator can just completely disconnect the defense. Also, still have drones on the board. Only 2 players on the bomb site. If they're able to identify this, they could just go for a quick site hit and try and get this bomb down.
No case though. info still for St. Ambrose. They probably know that NCSU is forced into a garage take if they want to get anywhere close to an execute. But the blade's coming through. Reinforced finds the headshot. What? Lala poking his head out on top rafters. Could have had an absolute freebie, but instead gives one away and makes this an actually winnable round for NCSU. Now, because those barbed wires now do damage, Reinforce is forced to take those down before pushing up, and a shot going astray that could have been the kill shot under Reinforce, who sits at just about 10 HP for himself. Cypher taking rafters as well, knows that one is up on the cash hold, but he drops down. Now, 2 versus 3, 25 seconds left. They've gotten themselves on a breach onto site. They have case, but now they just need to transition this into a very difficult execute with B14 still holding onto C4. That's going to go flying over the top of the rafters any point now, and even though it doesn't find a kill, Brappo equalizes it out with one. Traded by Cypher, but Momo with another trade off the back of it. It's an absolute crunch when the attackers start executing onto site. And it's another round for St. Ambrose as they creep closer and closer and closer to that dominant scoreline that we saw on the first map on their defensive half. They could get a flawless defense if we continue on a rotation like this.
One major problem has costed essentially 2 rounds for NC State from the opening minute. The very first round, Doobie going for a run out over by Kennels, and then getting an opening pick onto a very crucial player. Obviously, Ash not having a whole lot of utility, but Reinforce himself is a very crucial player for getting those entry picks going later on in the round. Then, going back to last round, a run out on Doc, keep in mind. It's not like it's an Oryx, it's not like it's an operator that is really fast. It is a beefed up Doc running out and not only getting 1 opening pick for free, but getting 2. Both your Capitao and your Maverick. There are now 2 rounds in a row where if NC State just played a little bit more cautious, they wouldn't have been put in these unwinnable situations.
Troubling thing for me, though, is a perfect site rotation for St. Ambrose, and NCSU have chosen to not take a timeout, not take a delay, not really change the operators besides Gavin swapping from a Twitch and a Zofia that he's played a few rounds onto a Yana. That is the only change that I see out of NCSU Red. And although that gives them a little bit more info, that's going to get delayed by those mute jammers and potentially not really have all that much impact at all.
I also don't really understand Hydro on this Habana pick. I mean, sure, if you want to shoot a couple of, pellets to get these castles, but if you just have an ace and then maybe switch Gavin onto the Flores, it just solves the problem. I think not only does NC State have a difficulty Doobie finally losing that opening pick, Gavin using his info on Ayana to its fullest capability. Because of it, even though he is isolated, he is able to shut down that opening pick.
Momo could have a very easy trade, though, as Gavin working his way in from rafters, and Momo is just holding this. But NCSU Red are playing off of their info very well. Yeah, it was a double fake out for Gavin. Drone through, didn't... Ooh, almost hitting a headshot through the wall. Momo so close to just taking Gavin's head clean off. But instead, he's falling back, playing for a C4 hole.
Yeah, I think this is a really just better round overall. Not only winning that opening pick, but doing a much better job at dealing with these early positions. Getting this wall inside of CCTV open, getting this Raptors control with real no pushback from the defense. But now comes the problem of actually getting useful control. CC can't really get that if there's players playing inside of cache, and you can't go for a bomb when you still don't have enough info on the bomb site. And sure, NC State has done a lot of work so far. Momo, he's able to get one, El Brapo with another, and now it goes from an advantage to an evened out 3-3 and no info with it.
St. Ambrose taking their feet in and finding so many kills, but what? NCSU just hit the go button and find so many kills on site. A great hold on the opposite side for St. Ambrose's defense when it comes to site. It's paper thin.
Again, it really goes back to my idea that if NC State just puts themselves in a better position, if they don't let that opening pick go for free every single engagement that Doobie forces onto NC State is a position where not only is he isolated, but there's no support. There's no echo drum. There's no info. There's not an additional player behind him. And it is probably one of the easiest positions to win an opening pick. And to be fair, that engagement with Gav on the Ayana, in my opinion, is a 50-50 gunfight. If he just played it a little bit better, it could have been another round where NC State lost that opening engagement. But because of that, because they also worked that extension inside of Cash and CC consistently and well pushed those players back, but then lured St. Ambrose into kind of a false sense of security and then going for that quick sight hit. I talked about attacking these bomb sites in these extended positions around the map in a multi-directional sense. In the very first round that NC State does it, they win. Aw.
10
Maybe
seconds.
playing with the drone a little bit. Yeah, he's gotten active
5 seconds left
every
before
single
insertion.
round very early on. Either he's able to find a spawn peek and maybe even find a double,
Moving out to locate
or
a bomb.
in that last round, gets caught out by a trickery, a mirage from Gavin. This round, he's going once again for a punch hole spawn peek in CC, but nobody's really spawned over there for the... Oh, no, somebody has. Gavin actually putting a few shots through the wall, but isn't able to find Doobie as he has already fallen back a little bit further.
I do like this adaptation from NC State to not only put Gavin in the entry positions instead of a player like Reinforce, because of that you are able to hold on to this execution utility if you do lose that opening pick, but also Gavin in a position where he has info where he doesn't need the rest of his team to drone him in. They get this info, whether it be a Dokkaebi or in this map of Clubhouse switching onto the Ayana, he's always in a sense where he can just get this info completely on his own. It allows for NC State to really take a lot of loads off of their back.
This is a second round for St. Ambrose that on their
bomb has
defensive
been
half on
located.
the basement site, they've had reinforcements still in their pocket, but dirt has been soft. For NCSU, the first round, it didn't really work out all that well. They opened it up very early on, had some phantom pressure, but it just didn't work out at all because St. Ambrose were able to find the kills. This round, once again, they open up dirt, have a little bit of phantom pressure. But off the back of that, attacking win for NCSU, as if they have a little bit of phantom pressure, push towards an opposite side hold and get an opening pick like that, if they can kind of push and prod and pull a few defenders out of their hard anchor positions and just hit site like they did last round, this could be the win condition for their attack that they have not found in the past 3.
Nobody inside of blue, or at least deep from Ambrose. So if NC State does want to take this position, they can just do it freely. There's nobody that's going to stop them. That's exactly what they're going to be doing.
Execute utility out for NCSU, but an opening pick for P14. Gavin hitting the floor. He talked about him having good entry capabilities, and he did get a lot of space for NCSU, but he hits the deck as the push comes into full fruition. Another for Reinforced, triple for him, and he's putting his team on his back at the moment. Execute, finally going down, but it's right in the open. Brappo just swings out, and even though Hydro trades it, Brappo finds himself in a 1 versus 3, but he's able to delay, able to get plant down, and NCSU forced to scramble for just a little bit. They slow down, but Brappo finds another kill. Double for him, and this is so winnable. He knows that the play is coming in from main, but does he know where plant is as he completely repositions?
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
Oh, not quite able to find it. Once again, Reinforced putting the plant down in the open, but this time, he gets away with it. Fabled. Going towards bar, going towards stage, just repositioning, looking for that vert angle and looking for that late round flank on Brappo. Forced into a retake. One on dirt, one on top blue. They're in opposite positions and Brappo is unaware of either. At 20 seconds left, he needs to make a decision, needs to stick this, and needs to... Hold on. No, they very much see, and the swing comes in from Fabled. That round went back and forth, but in a 2 versus 1 post plant with both of your players in opposite positions, that's just not a round that you ever lose. And another attack for NCSU Red.
A very poor start. 3 rounds to nothing for NC State, but they're able to pull the bare minimum of 2 and are in a very well-positioned place to get 3. And I think the main thing for me is you spoke about after they went down 3-0, their inability to take that timeout was a little bit of a warning sign. It put up a lot of questions for both you and also me in my own sense. but it's kind of a situation where they understood their own problem. Sure, it took them 3 rounds to continue to put Gavin in those entry positions, to take away reinforce in those entry positions with all of that utility, and also play a little bit more idealistic, understanding that Doobie was continuously going to be trying to go for those entry kills, completely isolated with no support for his team, whether it be positions or defender utility. And again, it's a situation where if they just read into that a little bit earlier, NC State could have had the lead.
Yeah, it's once again a little bit reminiscent of the last map, but sides completely switched. For St. Ambrose, Doobie got off to a really hot start, was just kind of running out, getting kill after kill after kill, but NCSU now finally starting to shut him down or starting to put rounds on the board as well. Seems like the win condition for them is pressure towards this opposite side, draw a few players of the defense towards this opposite side hold, towards the extension, and then just blitz site when you know that you're going to have the man advantage because there are going to be people in positions outside of it. This worked out really well for them. 3-0 start for St. Ambrose could very well be equalized out by NCSU.
And another factor that we haven't really touched on is St. Ambrose also themselves playing a little bit more passive. Aside from Doobie, he's going to continue to try and force these gunfights. But now NC State completely changing up their push, going for this clear over close to the bomb site, trying to get it early. This can opener will have success. Momo, he doesn't get the bandit trick off in time. But the problem now is, sure, you got that wall open. Nobody on highway, no Raptors control whatsoever, and you don't have info that there's 3 defenders playing over here.
Yeah, that breach being open for St. Ambrose might honestly work to their favor, because the problem is there's only 1 player on site for St. Ambrose. Actually, Blah Blah finds his way back onto site, and that does mean that there's 2 and now 3 people. Yeah, no, it's not a 1 person on site and complete extension. After that breach is opened, St. Ambrose are forced to go so closer to site. But again, it might really work out for them, and it's definitely going to be a good start as Doobie finds a pick onto Hydro. He evades the drones, he evades the info, and finds for St. Ambrose an opening pick once again.
Yeah, and still 2 defenders over here. If this last player outside of CC Breach wants to take the gunfight, even if he does get a kill, this defense is well positioned to get that refrag. On top of it, the bomb site has a very healthy man count that disallows NC State to go for this quick hit without Ambrose being prepared for it like the last round they tried it.
But NCSU had a man disadvantage. St. Ambrose finding their way back onto site. Besides 1, looking for a kill. P14 does get cut off, though, not by Gavin. But as Reinforced just drops no, he doesn't drop Logi, sorry. Finds kill after kill after kill. And although Brappo answers back, it's a 3 versus 3 for NCSU. And things slow down just a little bit. Breach still open. Pressure still for NCSU. They're walking up close, but St. Ambrose have the info. As NCSU have sight and have case, but with 15 seconds left, they're going to be so worried about St. Ambrose either holding from below, holding these feet angles that they are just looking down the barrel of potentially a 4-2 half, but a kill goes Doobie's way. Those footholds work out, and he finds a second plank going down in the smoke, though. Doobie runs around, shooting through the wrong part of the smoke. Fable gets plant down right in the face of Doobie. What? Finds 1. No! Quad kill by a knife. That was razor edge for NCSU. St. Ambrose come out with a 4-2 half, but that very well could have been a 3-3 in a 1v3 land.
If you were to summarize that engagement, I'd say you got Doobie. Wow. I talked about how because this game has been so chaotic in turn, it has been so entertaining. And wow, what a way for St. Ambrose to almost let that 4-2 split slip out of their hands. NC State isn't able to finish off that 1v2 in due fashion. But again, we talked about a 2-4 half on the attack, especially for how NC State started, is exactly what they probably would have liked. Now they get to fall back down onto the defense. We talked about getting that 3-3 split on the defense. We understand that the attack is not where they want to play. That is not their favorite side. all their cards are on that defense. And I think the problems, their ability to adapt and understand how St. Ambrose played, and then also counter that, should carry on to this defense on also.
Hopefully for NCSU, they can find their form back on the defensive side, because although they could have, I mean, outside chance gotten themselves a 3-3 half off of an absolutely crazy round that last round, it's still, even if you count it as a 3-3, even if you, it's still been going St. Ambrose's way round after round. Now NCSU did have some really good plays at the very end, did have some good shot calls of saying, hey, let's just hit site here, and won that round. Just saying, hey, let's hit site here. Now on the defensive side, seems like they're going for an info denial play, and a kind of very standard utility play with a Jaeger helping the castle barriers, helping this extension, pushing throughout the entirety of the map into the faces of St. Ambrose.
I mean, the problem is, just look at how quickly they're getting these walls open compared to how NC State tried to do on their attack. You both CC wall open and Jacuzzi wall, even with the Bandit trying to go for that trick, he isn't able to get that timing off. On top of that, just putting immense pressure now onto construction. The factor of St. Ambrose to just move throughout this map this quickly in the early round, pushing this defense so far deep into the site, being able to get the cross onto Gavin. 3 players essentially trying to get rid of him. And finally, they are able to do it. And now, not even halfway in the round do they have all this control over by CC, have that opening pick, but they also have cleared out construction.
Cypher walked down main stairs, looking for a lurk. And that could potentially be the only win condition for NCSU Red, because the thing is, just one single Thatcher and 2 wall denials for NCSU Red just do absolutely nothing. Now Cypher walking his way up onto pool table. Again, he could be the lurk that breaks the back of St. Ambrose. But if he doesn't, St. Ambrose are kind of just sitting on the door to site with a minute and 15. Reinforce able to find a kill into Blah Blah. That is a much needed pick for NCSU as the C4 goes out. Isn't able to find a kill, but pressures towards these players of St. Ambrose. They're not able to walk on high with absolute impunity.
These Castle and Mute Jammers are really giving St. Ambrose problems. They can't even get the breach charge off. They're going to have to use one of Thatcher's to get it open. Almost a free pick for Doobie, but NC State unknowingly will not give that opportunity, but just looking the wrong way will give that opening going into this execution.
Rappa walking into sight as well. Playing off his Grim canisters, he cleared out the entirety of Logi and just walked in unbeknownst to NCSU. Reinforced looking for some sort of aggression, shoots a drone, hears a rappel, but that's not on the side of the breach, unfortunately. He isn't able to find that kill, but he's still looking for aggression. With 19 seconds left, he's not going to find it. Once again, a smoke out, but the plant isn't going to go down. A headshot is going to come through. He's going to take Doobie's head clean off, and Brappo is able to find one. Getting the plant back down to the ground and finds another kill on the cover. He's just running around from Logi and Momo, finds a shoulder, finds an elbow, and takes that player down.
A very difficult round for St. Ambrose. Getting all of that control, getting CC wall and Jacuzzi wall, clearing CC and Cash, pushing that player, eventually getting the pick on to Gavin from that hatch down below, all the way from stock, keep in mind. The ability for St. Ambrose to just set up these really long angles is just also a phenomenal factor that we haven't really touched on. And it makes, specifically on the defense, even sometimes on the attack, for when an NC State player tries to rotate back down to the bomb site, absolute hell. You're just not getting back. There are at least 3 players from a mile away looking at you, just ready to take your head clean off. And that's exactly what we saw for that opening round. But even with all that control, St. Ambrose really struggled on that on-site. Wasn't able to get that breach charge off because of that mute jammer. That wasted, in a sense, 15 to 20 seconds, and only when a player jumping down into Logi, getting a kill, shutting down the player right behind bed, then they open up. I think a little bit the problem could be an opportunity for NC State, but to be fair, they also have some problems of their own.
Secret triple Capcan for Reinforce. If this goes undroned, this could be devastating for St. Ambrose. By the way that things have been going, I very highly doubt that will be the case. St. Ambrose had an absolutely fantastic defensive half, and even though it got a little shaky near the end, last round could have very well gone to NCSU in a one versus two post plan, as they're able to find their way out of a smoke. After that, after the halftime, another round put on the board by St. Ambrose, and now just one round away from match point. They were strong the last map, closing it out 7-4, and they've continued their strength. Hydro pressuring towards a run out. And if he gets on drone here, he could potentially get killed. But he stays gun up for just long enough to maintain his life.
The funniest part is that you didn't even need to use the Deimos tracker to find out where Hydro was. He isn't going to completely vacate this position, just simply going to rotate over to construction. Continuing his best to waste time, but because he overstayed his welcome, it gives the opportunity to P14 to shut him down. And yet another St. Ambrose entry, but Gavin with a quick trade onto Doobie, onto the ace nonetheless. But the problem is, for NC State is at St. Ambrose, not only do they have that thermite, they also have those can openers to get these hatches open. This attack's so well prepared for this utility game.
But the impact trick actually does work for NCSU, even with the radius of those impacts getting nerfed so long ago and making it a lot more difficult to get off a trick like that. It still works for NCSU's defense. Fortunately for them, they're also sitting at a man advantage as well, and on a bunker site like... Actually, no, it's 4 versus 4. I thought Blah Blah was dead. I looked over towards the side of the screen and saw him on so low HP and kind of just assumed he was dead. Then it left 4 versus 4. St. Ambrose still have Blah Blah up on the board, but they're delaying a lot of time. And Gavin's still sitting with 3 of those smoke canisters, still a C4 in pocket of Cypher. There's a lot of plant denial for NCSU Red, if they can get close enough to where this execute is going down.
And yet again, when they have a phenomenal opening half, when they go down to the execution phase, they start to struggle, start to stall out, not 100% sure, but with still 30 seconds, they are able to just waste out a couple of these smoke babes from Gavin and just waste a little bit more of that utility. But again, it's just going to come down to jumping down this hash inside of B and getting that bomb down.
They need to clear out AKs first, because if they drop directly into this, it's going to be right into the fray, right into the fire. They're going to get through. They're going to find the kill anyways? Rappo finding the kill in the Fable. That's one that you absolutely need to hit the shot. And info for the retake as well. Brappo is going to just clean up. Triple for him after the drop. And he's just killing absolutely everybody. Blah Blah finds a closeout as well. And after they drop through that hatch, it's a 4 versus 4, but it quickly becomes a 4 versus 0 as they lose absolutely no one in that execute.
You know, I really try to stay away from making this point, but a lot of these rounds are being lost by NC State because they simply cannot win these gunfights. And sure, that's simple enough. Goose, it's a FPS game. Obviously, you got to kill the enemy team to win, but the problem
aren't you
is...
supposed to analyze more than that?
The problem is, you have a player like Reinforce who's going absolutely on a heater, on a tear in this game. You saw the exact...
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He was about to make a really good point. Had all that buildup and everything. That's unfortunate. You know what? We'll get a quick recap of what he was going to say when he comes back. Either way, yeah, pointing out Reinforce 12 and 6, just quick and dirty. That means he's doing well. NCSU Red, unfortunately, though, are not able to capitalize. Even though he's doing well, they're still sitting at a 2-6 scoreline, and with St. Ambrose taking the first map, this is series point against them. They're on the defense, but they have yet to really put anything up into the face of St. Ambrose. It's been a defensive side matchup from both maps, and even going into this map, going towards the side swap, you could say, oh, side swap, defensive half of their map choice. This is great. They can put rounds back up onto the board, but they've looked even worse on their defense than they looked on their attack to start this map. Castle barriers up once again. I need to do a little bit more of a trap play into the faces of St. Ambrose. Yes, they still have those castle barriers. Yes, they still have those Jaegers to defend, but instead of going for a useless mute that didn't do anything on those outside extension walls, they've chosen to go for 2 traps instead in the Aruni and the Legion, potentially getting a little bit more info, delaying St. Ambrose's opposite side. doesn't really seem to be doing a whole heck of a lot, as they still get these breaches open in record time.
I'm back.
40 seconds up and so much hard breach. They've gone for a little bit more of a trap play on NCSU Red, but that's just not slowing down St. Ambrose's attack at all. So almost all of the breaches open at this point. What was that point that you were going to make? You were gearing up for a real big one.
Yeah, I actually had a phenomenal point there that you just have players on NC State in power positions that cannot win gunfights, and it's a relatively easy clear for St. Ambrose. And having Gavin lose so much health, also Cypher over by Red Stairs lose his life, just really cements that point without me even originally saying it. But reinforce he's going to be able to escape. Gavin, though, still completely on an island inside of CCTV. 3 players, 1 inside of CC, 2 on top Red. The flashbangs in Grimbees will not be able to push him out of his position. So at least for now, there is no real hard info on this player still inside of Cache.
Hydro can count his lucky stars. He doesn't get killed there. The swing timing working out for him absolutely perfectly, but feet found from Gavin. He's just such low HP that a single bullet takes him down onto the ground, and yet another pick going St. Ambrose's way. Reinforced with a double, keeping his team in this, and he's sitting at max point, but he's not letting nerves get to him. He's getting kill after kill after kill. Talked about him doing well, talked about him at 12 and 6. He's the only player for his team that's doing anything.
I was going to say poorly timed swing, but reinforce. You don't want to overheat. You sure want to get kills, and that's exactly what he does. Puts Fabled in a 1v2, but he knows exactly where these last 2 players are.
And now, series point for St. Ambrose. 30 seconds left and just a hot breach onto site, getting themselves all the space that they need. Fabled tucked away in bathroom. Once again, these feed holes not doing anything for NCSU's defense. He isn't able to find him. He's getting the plant down behind the weight machine, and the cross once again coming in for St. Ambrose. And a 7-2 scoreline to follow their 7-4 in a quick 2-0 victory against NCSU.
Specifically, that round was the definition of almost winnable. A 1v2, both players so low in health. Just one shot from that UMP at least downed both of them. But the lack of info, the lack of just being able to see that player costed them not only the round, but in turn, the entire series. I think it is that overall just buildup of, small problems snowballing into bigger ones that really continued from Chalet, then going over to Clubhouse.
And yeah, continued dominance and just picking up. We saw a scrappy back and forth on the first half of the first map, and it kind of got away for NCSU. And going into the second map, we were talking about, hey, can they battle back? Can they swing back momentum? No, it just kept snowballing, and it just kept getting worse for NCSU. Congratulations for St. Ambrose, though. You looked better and better every single round that went on for this matchup, and you come away with a 2-0 victory against NCSU.
Yeah, I mean, that is phenomenal. I think one thing we didn't touch on because we didn't get the info until late, going into this matchup, NC State was 2-2, falling down to 2-3. But for St. Ambrose, they were 3-1, now going up to 4-1, putting themselves in an even better position coming out of week 5.
Now, moving on, we're not going to have Rainbow Six on the NEC or on NECC for another 2 weeks, but we have Rocket League tomorrow. We have Overwatch on Friday, CS2 next Wednesday, Rainbow Six back on March 16th. So you have a while to wait, but you have a ton, 19th, but you have a lot to watch in the meantime. That is goodbye for me and goodbye for Goose as well. Have a wonderful evening.
Pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
Oh!
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.